The gift, the sixth sense, intuition, insight, an unknown mighty force. The ancients used to call them seers. The sixth sense or intuition is not the prerogative of intuitive people. All of us are gifted with this unknown mighty power. Intuition is a reliable source of wisdom and insight that can guide our lives. So we invite on a magical journey into the world of the sixth sense that will help us develop this amazing power and change our lives. We all have the gift of insight. All of us, to a lesser or greater extent, have the ability to see, to predict events and situations. With proper practice, any of us can become a psychic. What is the sixth sense? Intuition, learning a piece of information without knowing the source from which that piece of information comes. In other words, intuition is the perception beyond our natural senses, which aims to help us in the difficult paths of life. Intuition is a reliable inner source of insight and wisdom that can itself guide our lives. Fortunately, each of us has this source and can use it practically at any moment to make his life easier and to achieve his goals. The root of the English and French word for intuition comes from the Latin verb tuere, meaning to guard or to protect. And this is the function of intuition, since it protects us from making harmful decisions and guards us not only from external forces that could harm us, but also from our internal dialogues that precede some important decisions. Intuition is a source that provides an additional amount of information that does not come from the analytical, logical side of the brain. As it's developed and understood, it can be a reliable, valuable tool in the hands of people. Accurate intuition allows us to gain vital awareness of ourselves as well as our environment. How we perceive intuition? We all experience intuitive images every day. Symbols, numbers, colors, sounds, in a different way, which makes us stand out from the stimuli we receive in our daily life. These images could be for some a dream, for others an incident that they think they have seen somewhere or seem familiar, like deja vu, for others a message which is anything but random, and for still others a negligible image. The question that arises is, which of these images should we take into account? Which ones are important and how can we interpret them? Each of us must compile our own intuitive vocabulary in order to succeed in decoding the stimuli. There are techniques that we should definitely not leave unexploited, and through them we can practice the mind and spirit, thus acquiring our own dialect and communication with our inner self. We give you the elements that someone who would like to interpret this message could look at in an effort to enable you to become your own psychic. The goal is to gain a perfectly accurate, acute awareness of what we feel so that we can come to the position of consciously allowing them to fade. Once these everyday noises subside, we can now use our senses to focus on intuitive information. All of this requires nothing more than letting ourselves free to tune into the vibration of our soul, love, joy, and creation. So to start with, relax and concentrate. Take a deep breath and exhale slowly, allowing the conscious mind to relax. As you inhale deeply, feel physical sensation of being inside your body. Feel your bones, internal organs, skin, muscles, and heartbeat. And notice your body relaxing and your mind quieting. It's not necessary to forbid your mind from projecting images that do not correspond to what you're doing. See them also as part of your prediction, allowing them to pass through you and leave. And this process of aligning the mind with the soul for a few moments, once you feel relaxed, you're ready for your prediction. Before you start this, it's good to repeat to yourself that every time thoughts of disharmony with what you are doing come, you relax even more. No pressure is needed to maintain these images. All this with calmness and love within you must harmonize. Consider a goalkeeper who has very little chance of blocking the ball while waiting for his teammates' move, compared to a tennis player who repels the ball without thinking about completely freely and without pressure to understand where the ball is going, so you can move accordingly. Become aware of your intuitive state, how you feel. Do you feel any change in how you perceive your body? Do you feel lighter, heavier, hotter, or colder? Is your thinking pace slower or faster? Does the perception of sound change around you, and does your breathing change? Do you feel an emotional difference from when you are in a normal state? And do you feel your focus is different? Translation, interpretation. How accurate your intuitive images are depends directly on which intuitive way your inner self approaches. Insight, often accurate and not in need of interpretation. Intuition, usually highly symbolic and projects symbols that relate to our personal intuitive vocabulary. Listening, clear hearing that is usually accurate to the message that we automatically perceive a complete sentence word. Feeling, it refers to the experience parallel to another person, independent of time and distances, which presents itself to us as a feeling at the moment it develops. Be careful not to get into the process of choosing one of these ways, but see where your intuition tends to provide you with more information. After all, it's very possible that the intuition chooses every time a combination of these three ways at the same time for the project of elements or one of them. In the initial stages of the practice, there will be awareness of interpretation process, and the more you practice it, the more you will automate this process. Chronology placement. All the images we envision exist and evolve over a period of time, either during sleep, during meditation, or during full consciousness. We're able to perceive in which specific period of time they evolve. When intuitive information relates to the past, there is more emotion and substance to what we envision, and this emotion is similar to when we have a dream and experience it as if it was real. When the information is related to the present, we accept it as if it were a detached part of us that helps us have a complete and more objective picture of what we receive as a stimulus. Your intuitive vocabulary. Each of us must adopt to our intuitive vocabulary because words and images in each person's personality are differently charged. For example, the word end for someone may mean death because someone close to them recently came to the end of their life, and for someone else it may mean the end of a movie or a crisis. Can you ask yourself, how do you feel when someone rejects you? How do you feel when you're happy? Which picture gives you pleasant feelings and which unpleasant ones? So slowly forming your own personal vocabulary, you'll notice over time the familiarity and orientation of yourself in the explanation of intuitive messages. Ways to access the source of intuition. Your inner voice. People always talk about their inner voices. 2, dreams. 3 is emotions. 4, physical senses. The shift of your perspective. It's not time to think with fear and anxiety about the prospects of the immediate future. Stay in positive thoughts. Take small steps. Listen to your thoughts. A new truth may suddenly appear in your mind in the most unexpected way. Evaluating intuitions. What is the immediate action I can take? Which of the options is more attractive to me? And how do I feel about my choices? What do I think about the decisions I have to make? And little secrets about intuition. Why is intuition important? You can contribute to the quick and ready solution, accept the definition that intuition is when you know something but don't know how you know it. Learn how your intuition gives you answers. Start asking your intuition questions. What are you excited about? Be clear with your goals. Set aside time for prayer and meditation. Intuitive answers to everyday questions often come through self-focus, prayer, and meditation, are 2 ways to slow down and listen to the still voice of the higher self. Create a positive atmosphere in the conversation with yourself. Establish an attitude of gratitude. Learn to take small steps at a time. Look for coincidences and know that there will be ups and downs. Trust in divine order. Practice with intuitive information. You may not get information right away. Record the guidance you receive, and don't forget to use your left hemisphere. Listen to your inner happiness guide. Ask your intuition the right questions and make positive statements. Clarify your record goals, visions, and dreams, and write a short positive statement that includes your goals. Here are some examples. I will easily land 1,000 new clients this year, or money flowing easily into my life while I'm doing what I love. Things like this. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.